Behind the scenes of a song and a savior. In my last post at Right Rumination Blogspot, I shared a thought that continues to shape the way I see God's hand in the lives of my family. He always does far more for us than we could ever do for Him. I can think of countless times when a simple step of obedience led to something only God could accomplish. Sometimes the result seemed small. Other times it grew into something far greater than I expected. In every case, it was clearly God at work behind the scenes. After my first husband passed away, even in the midst of deep grief, God gave us grace to believe He still had a purpose for our lives. I remember praying, "Lord, what do you want us to do now?" Around that time, my children began listening to a song called "I Have Been Blessed." At that time, none of them had any musical training. But something began to happen. First, they would play along with instrumental tracks. Then my oldest son, Dylan, taught himself to play the guitar, eventually the piano. My daughter, Lauren, began learning piano, also on her own. I started hoping they could learn how to sing in harmony. I even prayed for someone to help teach them. But God had a different plan. No teacher ever came. Instead, they learned by listening, soaking in godly music day after day. Eventually, all 5 of them began singing at our home church. They were still little, still learning, and it was so adorable to see them serve the Lord that way. At the time, I had no idea what God was preparing. Looking back, I see now that what was started with the death of my husband became the beginning of a new chapter, a story that would be used to further the gospel. All I did was ask God what to do next. He wrote the rest. Eventually, God allowed us to meet the Rochesters, the very group who sang the song my children had been learning. It was a divine connection. Not only did He bring us to the Rochesters, but He also allowed us to meet the author of that song. Ben Rochester, in particular, took time to help us record the songs. I am so grateful for the countless hours of work he put in, and I give God all the glory for how He orchestrated everything. In the description below, you'll find 2 links. The first is a compilation of events God allowed us to be part of shortly after my husband passed away. The second link will take you to a site where you can listen to the songs my children have recorded. I'd love to hear how these have encouraged you. Please feel free to leave a comment or share this with someone who might be blessed by it.